What up, what up? This is Finance, Fitness, and Folk, a channel where we discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, and talk about some folk. So today, I saw an article on the internet. Article was from a reputable source that I look at all the time. I think it's called Quora, Quora. And I guess like a forum where folks, they post questions, and then they post questions because they want to see answers, Maybe they have a question that's like unusual that they couldn't find an answer for by doing their own research, so they want to have feedback and get some opinions on what to do or how to go about some things, right? So there's one person up there posted a question about they were terminated from their job on a Thursday, and but the employer wanted them to come back on Monday, I guess to do some more work before they left permanently. It's the weirdest thing. I'm sitting here like, if you terminate me, if you fire me on a Thursday, do you really expect me to come back on a Monday the tabs and loose ends to close the loop on some things? Probably not. But anyways, they asked the question about what they should do, right? Some folks gave some answers and everything, and I'm not going to go into the answers that the folks gave, but I saw this post random on an email feed that I had, and if anybody's been following me, I've actually made a video a while back, not too long ago, about things you should do when you become fired. So when I saw this post today, I'm sitting here like, maybe I need to make another video in another aspect of being terminated, fired, let go, however you want to call it. So on today's episode, I'm going to discuss some things that you are entitled to if you are fired from your job. Now, this is in the United States. I'm not exactly sure how other countries are when it comes to being terminated, fired, let go, however you want to call it. But I know in the States, and this is just me doing my own research. Don't quote me on these things. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a person that is an expert in these things. I just do my own research, and I draw from that research and my own experience, right? So one thing that you're entitled to if you're fired is you are entitled to have something in writing that tells you explicitly why you was fired. If the person comes to you and verbally fire you, that's the wrong answer. Now, of course, a lot of times that it is a verbal, exchange when somebody comes to you and fires you, whether it be your boss or, whoever it is in charge of you. But, along with that, it should be some paperwork. It should be some type of paper trail that, that explains to you the reason why you was fired, let go, terminated. If they don't provide that, that's problematic, right? Because the company is going to be liable, because they have to give you something in writing that tells you why you was fired. Because if they don't do that, then it opens the door for you to come back and sue that company because they didn't give you a reason in writing why you was fired. I mean, you could have violated a company policy. It could have been, the company was downsizing and they had to lay off some folks. And it could have been anything, But they need to give you something in writing. If they don't give you something in writing, then you have some leverage there, right? So that's a right that you have. You have a right to know in writing why you was fired. Another thing, depending on what kind of job you have. Now, if you're in corporate America, if you're working for a contracting company, and they give you benefits, right? They give you some type of medical benefit. You are entitled to continue that medical benefit. Now, of course, you just got fired, so depending on what your money situation is, you may not be able to, to pay the premium that you was paying when you was fired. Hopefully you have some type of savings to keep that medical insurance going, but that's a right that you have. You have a right to continue that medical insurance. I would suggest you, if you work for any company that gives benefits, you look at that benefits package very carefully with a fine-tooth comb. Don't quote me on it, but I'm not exactly sure if it's a state policy or federal policy. But most jobs that I've seen, if they give you some type of compensation package, meaning like your medical, dental, then there's a way for you to be able to continue that coverage. I want to say it's called Cobra. So anyways, you definitely need to look into that because at the end of the day, medical insurance is very important. And if you have a family, definitely you need to find some kind of way to be able to continue that medical insurance, but that's the right of yours. So another thing that you're entitled to is your final check. If for some reason they're telling you that they're not going to pay you what you already worked for in hours, that's a problem. That is a serious problem. You need to, they need to give you your final check. I'm telling you, they need to do that. That is unlawful. They cannot do that. And like I said, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not exactly sure what the legal ramifications that would come with that. If the company decides not to give you your final check, if they tell you that, then you probably need to talk to a lawyer. You should probably be talking to a lawyer anyway if you get fired, because definitely if it was a wrongful termination that you feel like it was wrongful, maybe you felt like you was discriminated against, maybe you got fired because of your race, you got fired because of your gender. It could be a lot of reasons why you got fired, right? But one scenario I want to put out there for folks or whatever that goes down the path of unlawful termination. For example, let's just say that you in some type of sales job, right? It's on commission, and you work for a company. It's you and another guy. I'm just using guys as an example, and both of you have the exact amount of sales for maybe, let's say, for 6 months, right? And the sales is not what the company wants you to reach. You and the person didn't reach the mark that they have for you guys for sales. They fire you, but they don't fire the other person. That is not considered an unlawful termination, because what you have to understand is, depending on what state you live in, and I want to say it's a lot of states like this in the United States. I know in Virginia it is like this. It's what's called an at-will state, meaning that an employer can come to you and fire you just for you having a yellow shirt on that person didn't even like. They still need to give you something legally as far as why they fired you, right? But at the end of the day, it could be a lot of reasons why they fired you and not that person. Maybe they felt like the skill set that person had was worth keeping versus yours. It's not a hit on you, because you have to understand, a lot of times when it comes to firing, it's business. A lot of times not personal. That's one of the reasons why I said in the previous video I had about things to do if you're fired. Take a day or two to get yourself together. There's a lot of emotions that come along with being fired, and it's not a good feeling, right? So you definitely want to take time to be able to gather your thoughts and try to understand and try to package why this situation happened to you. So there's a couple of other things that that you are entitled to, as far as if you're fired. Some companies, they have a severance package where even if you were fired violating company policy, if you was on tenure with that company, they may have a policy where they have to give you some type of severance pay. We look into that. Also said that in the other video I had, that if you have a 401k with that company, you're entitled to have that 401k back. Right now, you can always transfer it to the next job you get, but you have an option of being able to have that 401k given to you, right? Basically being able to take it out in full. I know a lot of times with jobs, you have a 401k, you have a certain amount you can pull out, a certain percentage you can pull out a year, but if you become fired, that 401k pretty much is open season for you to pull the whole thing out. Provided you're going to have to pay some type of tax penalty, but it's still available to you. So anyways, I hope this video gave you some insight as far as some of the entitlements you have if you're fired, terminated, or let go. I saw that video that came up on my email feed. I'm on like a subscribe list with that particular website, and that was like the first question that popped up on that feed. So I'm like, man, like something's I guess something's telling me I need to make another video about somebody being fired. What kind of rights they have. This is a weird time in the economy right now. It's the year 2023. And in the United States, there's a lot of layoffs, People are losing their jobs, y'all, and it's not to say that, we should be living in fear, but we need to put ourselves in position to where if things happen like this to us, we need to be in the right position. Case in point, we need to be able to have our own business, some type of side hustle. I've said that plenty of times before. So I just wanted to make sure that, I put the information out to you guys or whatever, so you can actually use this as leverage to better yourselves, put yourself in position to where if things like this happen to you, you don't fail, your family doesn't fail, and you're able to ride this wave out until the next wave comes, because it's not the end of the world. Hold your head up, stay strong, and you'll get through this. People get fired every single day, y'all. People get fired every day, you know what I'm saying? But they still here, they still pushing, and you need to keep grinding and push your way towards success, because like I said before in the previous video, sometimes when things like this happen to you, it's God pushing you forward into the direction that he wants you to go into, all right? Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe, please. We're on the road to 100, like I said, on the road to 100, all right? Finance, fitness, and folk, Triple F. I'm gone.